Fathers, are we setting the right example for our kids? I came through a challenging thought recently that it was that boys will imitate their fathers when they grow up, and girls will look for someone like their fathers. That's a crazy challenging thought for me as I've father of my girls and my boys, and it made me think, like, am I being that blueprint? Am I being that example that I want my boys to imitate and my girls to look for when they grow up? And how can I be making sure that I'm more of it? And that's where I came up with these 10 really quick habits that I think shape us and help us provide that example to our kids. So it's a little bit of a longer video, but stick around. It'll be worth it, I promise. So here we go. Example or thing number one that I think every kid should see their fathers doing on a regular basis is praying. We need to be talking to God on a daily basis, and our kids need to see us as we are doing that, as we're talking to God, as we're surrendering to God. Do that in front of them, do it with them. We need to be praying. Number two, working out. We need to be taking care of our bodies. Our bodies are a template that God has given us. We need to make sure that we teach our kids and we show our kids how we should be taking care of our bodies physically on a regular basis. Any level of physical activity, we need to make sure that we're setting that example. Number three, denying yourself. We need to be able to show our kids that we cannot just succumb to every desire of our hearts and of our bodies. We need to be able to discipline ourselves and deny our own wants and our own desires. That may be avoiding drinking alcohol or not eating excessively or not doing certain things that you may want to do, but just denying that to yourself teaches us discipline, and that teaches our kids how to do that as well. Number four, challenging yourself. Let's show our kids how, as fathers, we challenge ourselves to learn something new, do something that you've never done before, whether that's something that it could be building a deck, it could be like learning and going back to school, whatever that looks like. Challenge yourself in front of your kids. Show them how, as a father, you're continuously trying to grow. Number five, clean up after yourself and help at home. Helping with our chores, helping at home, making sure that there's order in our lives in every area of them. Order brings peace and comfort in our minds, and it creates a healthy mindset for us. So let's teach that to our kids, how to create that environment where there is cleanliness, where there's order, where there's comfort, and when there's peace, where there's peace. Number six, loving and serving our wives. We need to show our kids as fathers how that looks like. How are we loving and serving them on a daily basis, making sure that we die to our own wants and our own needs for our wives, and that we show that example to our kids daily, whether that looks like doing things that we don't want to do, or again, even if it's just helping out at home, making sure we go out of our way to tell our wives how much we love them, setting aside time to spend with our wives and our wives alone, even without our kids. There's multiple ways we can do this, but they need to see us pursuing that relationship with our wives and investing in it. Number seven, working. Work is biblical. We need to be able to work. Every man should have a job and should be working on a daily basis. And that's an example we need to be setting for our kids. Number eight, we need to be stewarding what God has given us wisely. Everything we have is provided by God. We need to show our kids how we're stewarding that in a wisely fashion, not spending our money in things that we shouldn't be spending, or maybe just being irresponsible with the assets and the things and the goods, the resources that God has given us. Stewarding them properly and showing our kids what that looks like is an example we should be setting. Number nine, tithing. That goes along with stewarding our finances. We need to be able to show our kids and set that example that out of everything God has given us, we set aside the first fruit to Him. We tithe back to invest in His kingdom, to put our trust in God and what that does to our hearts and what that does to our minds when we put our trust and faith in Him, even with something as challenging as our finances. Our kids should be able to see that example regularly from us. And number 10, serving. We need to be able to put aside time, which is such a valuable resource, to help others, to pour into God's kingdom, to share the word of God, to serve others instead of just serving ourselves and doing things that are just for ourselves. So that's my challenge today to you guys, to all of us, including myself. Let's make sure that we are setting that example for our kids so we can show them what a real husband looks like, what a real father looks like, what a real man looks like in a godly way. God bless.